Dragon Age: The Veilguard was one of the biggest video game failures of 2024, and EA and BioWare are not going to be able to live that down anytime soon. But now we're finding out that the director, Corinne Busche, is apparently gone from the studio. There's a rumor circulating that they are going to be closing the Edmonton studio because the game missed its sales targets by a whopping 85%. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I love old BioWare. They've created some amazing games, and they do have some amazing franchises, but I really wouldn't shed a tear if they were to just disappear tomorrow. It is pathetic that they have hired primarily activists who are not good at their jobs to work on these legendary franchises, and Dragon Age: The Veilguard is the best we can get, though now there is a rumor that is circulating that sounds absolutely massive, and that is that Corinne Busche, the game director of Veilguard, has left BioWare, but apparently there's also going to be a closure for their Edmonton studio. So this news, revealed by Mark Kern, aka Grums, and Smash JT, comes amid troubling rumors that BioWare's flagship Edmonton studio may close as early as next month. It sounds like that could be the case just based off of the fact that we know they're not doing any extra content. All they're doing is patching the game up at this point, and that's only going to last for so long. So what would they stick around for? I guess maybe if they had another game lined up, though, because this game missed its sales target by such a large percent, I never really thought that they were going to be working on another game. Companies can only throw so much money into a fire pit, and they can only make so many games before they finally have to call it quits, and that's exactly what's going on now. The potential closure of this three-story office, which opened just 5 years ago, signals a grim future for the once revered RPG studio. So, Grums and Smash JT shared details from an internal email later verified by a source within EA, where Bush announced that they were leaving BioWare to pursue new projects, which is such a hilarious thing to hear. It's so cap, because when you are working for a legendary studio like BioWare, where else are you going to go? No one else is going to hire you that is a technically better off company because you ran this game into the ground. Are you going to go work for a Sweet Baby Inc? Are you going to go work at an indie studio? I guess if it's a project you're more passionate about, then that could be seen as a better project to pursue, but ultimately you were working for a legendary studio and you basically killed them. So don't expect much in terms of job offers, but just really quickly going over the email, it says, "Hard to believe I'm writing these words, but here it goes. It's time for me to say goodbye. Today is my last day at BioWare and EA. Bye-bye, loser. After so much contemplation, I've decided to pursue a new challenge and a new project, doing what I love the most, making RPGs. It wasn't an easy decision, as I mean it when I say I love BioWare, the Dragon Age team, and what we've accomplished together. Yeah, becoming a mockery within the industry. My time with all of you has been the highlight of my career. Yeah, and it is going to stay that way because no other studios are going to hire you. I want to offer you my personal thanks for your trust, your companionship, and for many ways in which you've inspired me and helped me grow. I'll be eagerly awaiting to see what great experiences you create next, and as a fan, I'll be rooting for you. If I can leave you with any advice, it is this. Don't fuck up the way I did. We all know making games is hard. It's part of why we do it, but making games is also about the people and the resilience we have on one another. So take the time to celebrate the wins and lift each other up. The challenge and the work will always be there, but the moments we have with each other are precious and few. Blah, blah, blah. I can't make any more money at this studio, or perhaps they wanted to fire me, so I'm giving you all this email to make it look like I quit and I have better opportunities lined up." It's just so funny to me because there's no shot that Corinne Busche is going to fall upwards. I know that we talk about individuals like this getting so many opportunities within the industry, but I just don't see this person having another opportunity at such a legendary and massive studio. I mean, BioWare is pretty big. Everybody in the industry knows BioWare's name, and Corinne was with them even before Veilguard with games like Anthem, so very bad track record there. And this isn't the only bit of BioWare news, because according to Smash JT's EA source, BioWare Edmonton's closure is rumored to be announced before EA's February 2025 town hall meeting. Now, like with all rumors, take this with a hefty grain of salt, though it seems very realistic, because a company cannot continue to go on if they are not making money. And this game was supposed to sell 10 million copies after a decade worth of development time, and it sold, as far as we're aware, a measly 1.5 million. If it had gotten close to that 10 million number, BioWare would have been boasting about it, but they have been silent because they know that they're fucked. They know that this game is a disaster, and they're probably panicking, and that's why we're going to see studio closure. So Veilguard has been a focal point of their struggle, selling under 1.5 million copies against a projected 10 million after a 10-year development period, according to these internal sources. Its dwindling player base, down 90% within 2 months, reflects widespread dissatisfaction. Now, obviously, with single-player games, their player counts are most likely going to be the highest at release, or if like a DLC comes out, but they're not doing any major DLC for this game. They're not releasing any new content, and this did not really click with the audience that they needed. The modern audience showed up, a couple thousand people, I guess, but at the end of the day, it was a flop. And a big reason why is the way that the team had acted before release, but also just the content within the game. People are sick and tired of modern day agendas being shoved into their content. I do not want modern day terminology like transgender and non-binary in my fantasy dragon game. I don't want to have to pick pronouns. I don't want to have to deal with body type A and Bs. I don't want to have to deal with toggling on or off top surgery scars. I just want to enjoy my time. And the character creator was being praised by the mainstream media. Well, they praised everything with this game, but specifically the customization system, because they were talking about how inclusive it is and how it's the best creator we've ever seen, which is also cap, given Black Desert Online came out a decade ago and it's got the best customization system in any game in this fucking industry. But they were trying their very best to show for this game because they liked it. They liked the fact that you have to deal with characters like Tosh talking about their sexual identity and their gender and the struggles they've gone through as a they, them. You have to deal with these cringeworthy interactions. And if it was all just optional, like an optional romance or an option to, pick like these different scars for your character, that would be one thing. But first of all, they shove them in your face and they make you go through these experiences, because you can't get away from Tosh. You can't kill Tosh. You can't abandon Tosh. You have to talk to Tosh at certain points within the game. You cannot avoid this individual at all whatsoever. Even if you get like the affection meter to the very like bottom of the barrel, even if you ignore them and you don't do any of their side quests, you still have to interact with them. And that means you have to listen to their insufferable dialogue. And Corinne Busche seemingly self-inserted with characters like Tosh. And I don't think that studios are going to want to deal with someone like that going forward. They're very quickly realizing that these strategies are not working, that they are not making money from games like Concords, Kill the Justice Leagues, Dustborns, Flintlock the Sieges of Dawns, Dragon Age the Veilguards, and maybe in a couple of years we will see the industry shift, though development times are very long. There are games that are in development right now that won't even be coming out till like 2027 or 2028, like Star Wars Eclipse, and I hope that the industry can continue to get better and better, and then one day we will be back to the glorious golden days of gaming, though it's very hard when you have people like this within the industry making propaganda. So I will be keeping my eye on the situation to see if we get any other confirmations, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.